to my channel and my life after gastric bypass. I am doing a week 17. Check me on that, editing Stephanie. I'm not sure. Week 17 or 18 post-op update. I had some unexpected meetings come up later in the week when I thought maybe I'd be able to get away with filming. So here we are in the car again. That is what it is. So this is the update that you're gonna get. First and foremost, things are a little rough right now. Emotionally, I am finding that I'm kind of dipping down into a little bit more of a difficult period again. It seems to go up and down. Sometimes I feel like everything's great and hunky-dory and wonderful, and then other times I just feel really down, and I'm just not really sure. I'm wondering how much of it is hormonal. I'm breaking out really bad. I'm sure it's extremely noticeable. I'm thinking it's hormonal related based on the way I've been feeling. I think that's just something that is going to come and go depending on what's going on. That's something I have no control over. At certain times it just feels like everything's really overwhelming. I really think that the reason I get very overwhelmed and have a really tough time every now and then is not just hormonal, but it's my coping. I still don't think that I have a really good new way of coping with stress or emotions, whereas in the past I obviously would eat my feelings, and I don't do that anymore. But I don't think I have a really good outlet or a really good way of managing that yet. And so when I get down, I really notice it because it seems to really bring me down because I think I'm not really coping with it. This time it's not stress. I don't feel overly stressed in my life. I do feel, how do I best put this? I feel out of tune with my body for the first time. Before I get into that though, I think I should go over the stats because it kind of has to do with what's going on. So I'm gonna throw my stats up right here like usual. As you may or may not know, my highest weight was 383.3 pounds, and I started the pre-op process at 374 pounds. My surgery weight was 344 pounds. Last week, I believe I weighed in at 376.6 pounds. Maybe? But this week, I weighed in at 375 pounds. Oh my God, Stephanie, no! What is wrong with you? We're in the 200s now. We're in the 200s. Okay, so I believe last week was 277.6 pounds, which makes this week 275. 275! Do you know how hard it is to get used to the fact that I'm not 300 pounds anymore? Like, mentally, that is not something that's changed in my mind at all. Just on a day-to-day basis, I don't think of myself as, going further and further away from 300 pounds. It's so hard to comprehend. Anyway, if you've done the math like I have, then you will notice that I have lost 99 pounds since starting this whole process on October 6th of last year, 2020. So I am in this middle ground of feeling both ecstatic and extremely frustrated over the fact that for some reason I could not just get that one last pound. Just one more. I would have lost a little over 3 pounds for the week, which would have been pretty normal for me, and then I would have gotten myself at 100 pounds lost. So it's stupid, but I was a little frustrated because I'm like, oh, I'm so close and I have to wait another week. How annoying. Kind of going along with that, I think mentally being at that basically 100 pounds is really taking a toll on me. in an unexpected way. I've noticed recently I started feeling, like I was saying before, a little out of tune with my body. And I think the best way to describe that is I don't feel like myself, like physically. So when I look in the mirror, I do see the weight loss. I don't see 100 pounds. And that's still really hard for your mind to grasp. But I do see weight loss for sure. But I see someone I don't recognize. And I'm in this in-between stage where I don't look like myself anymore. My face doesn't look like my face. And there's this loss that's coming with that. Like, I don't feel like myself. I don't feel like I look like myself. But I'm also not at the point where I feel like I can say, but damn, I look good. Like, I feel like I'm in this in-between where I'm not happy. I'm not happy with what I see in the mirror. And that's a little new for me. Despite being very heavy for most of my life, all of my life really, I've been pretty body positive, at least for the last, I want to say like 10 years or so. I felt really good about myself and you know, loved myself and didn't like hate myself in the mirror. That was something that I didn't do. I would be upset over things I couldn't do physically. I would be upset over maybe some other parts, but I never would look in the mirror and just be really upset over, you know, not liking my appearance. Not in that kind of way. I always liked my face, but now I just don't like it, and I know that it's a phase. It's part of the mental process with this, so I am working through it. I'm not just sitting and wallowing and feeling like, oh my God, I absolutely hate everything. But it's something I've noticed that I'm not really a fan. And it has gotten worse with this breaking out. Now I'm just like, But it actually also got pretty bad when I chopped my hair off. I went and got my hair cut specifically with layers and stuff so that I could deal with some of the hair loss I was running into, just having shorter strands. I hated that everywhere I went and everything I did, I had these long strands of hair all over my shirts and like just every time I ran my fingers through my hair. And so I decided to go and get it shorter. This is actually shorter than I asked her for, but you know, it is what it is. But I wanted to get it shorter, and I also wanted to get it to the point where there were shorter strands, like with a lot of layers. So I just went in and I was like, take care of it. Just, you know, just go ham on it. And it took me a few days, as usual. I always have a hard time with haircuts. I don't do well with change. And it usually takes me a few days to like feel like I've gotten used to my haircut. And so after a few days, I came to the realization that I don't like it. And I don't like how short it is. I don't like the way it makes my face look. I feel like it brings attention to the things I don't like recently about my face. There's just a bunch of stuff. I'm just feeling it, you guys. I'm just feeling it. And it's a personal thing. You know, all these things that I notice myself, you know, people can tell me that they think that I look great. I know it's a personal thing. And it's just something I'm going to have to deal with and work through, because there's just something about this process that messes with your mind. And I think we have to realize also that I am changing. I'm becoming a different person. By the time I'm done with this, I'm not going to look like the same person. I'm not. I have been heavy my whole life, and I've had this comfort with that of like, this is me. I've always looked like this, and it is what it is. And as I pull away from that and I start to look different and things sit different on me, and I'm gonna have to deal with the mental side of what comes with that, which is not recognizing myself and getting used to the new me. And I'm being okay with that. There's a process with that. It's not easy. None of this is easy. This would be something I would struggle with even without the surgery, but I think with the surgery, it happens so much quicker. You know, it's something I'm having to recognize and deal with earlier than I thought. I've lost 100 pounds in like 6.5 months. I mean, that's crazy. That's really fast. Really, really fast. So there's going to be a lot of changes. And as I lose more and more weight, they're going to happen quicker. You know, for a while I was able to lose a chunk of weight without it being extremely noticeable. But now it's noticeable. You know, and as I lose weight, I'm going to lose more and more of that extra fat, and I'm going to change a lot faster now than I've experienced in the past, where I've lost a chunk of weight, but I was still so plump that it didn't matter. It was hardly noticeable. So that's what I've been running into lately. I wanted to be transparent and just talk about it because I really still feel like the mental side of things is so important and not talked about enough. And part of that is, I think, just this focus on the physical stuff. Everyone's just so focused on food and focused on, you know, the number on the scale and all these things. They're not really focused on the mental side, which is difficult and a whole process in itself. But also, I think there might be some shame. I mean, these feelings that I'm having, I know are irrational, and I know I can talk myself down and say, no, you're beautiful the way you are. Don't worry about the mirror, baby. But it doesn't matter how many times you tell yourself that, right? I still am like, you know, having that initial thought. I'm going to take this exit. I don't know if I take this exit. I think it might be too early. Yeah, I think this might be one exit too early. Anyway, what was I saying? A lot of the feelings I'm having are embarrassing and personal, and I don't know how many people really feel like sharing that side of the weight loss story, especially because everybody just wants to see before and after pictures and hear all the good stuff, and that's not always the case, and sometimes it's a struggle. So I just want to make sure that part is known, that there's still stuff I got to deal with, and there's still stuff I got to work through before I'm going to get to a point where I feel comfortable. Hopefully that's sooner rather than later. Thanks so much for watching. I know this is probably a hot mess of a video, but I wanted to get out a quick update. And I also have a second video coming out probably later this week, because there were a couple other things that I was dealing with this week, and it was a good opportunity to talk about some of the other medical things that can happen after surgery. Stay tuned for that. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for supporting, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.